exist before we came 25 years ago. And then I started my business, had everything lined out, all of the stuff Dylan and I talk about, this business plan, and then 9/11 happened. It was like, wow. You know that Mike Tyson famous quote, you know, you got to plan until you get hit in the face. And that really happened. We had the great financial crisis after that, the pandemic. It was a real struggle. But what we learned from that is we're surrounded by great people. People who really invest for the long term. So now, fast forward 25 years later, we manage just under $600 million for clients. We're in 27 states. It all began here in Lebanon, Marion County. And so we're so pleased about that. We couldn't have done it without this team that I've put together. And so Sarah Corder, many of you know Sarah, she's traveling back from vacation. Joanne got a special invite today, so she's up having a great time at Churchill Downs. But some of the other folks back here, Stacy, everybody knows Stacy Garrett. She's been with me a great number of years and does a great job for clients. If you are a client and you're client facing, Erin Gorley does all of that. She handles everything on the website. And then we've got two new additions, Dylan Cameron, Bettina Cameron, works at Farmers Bank, her son. I just learned something when we hired Dylan. I was thinking about this. He was 3 years old whenever we started the practice. And so I think I feel good about that, but Dylan went to Western. He's CFP, passed the test, and now doing his hours. And so he's added a lot of depth to our practice. And then as of last week, we have a new addition to the service team. Many of you know Simone Ball Bradshaw. She's going to be joining the team 2 weeks from now. So we're super honored to be able to have these folks helping us in the practice. We've also made a move. Some of you all may have seen on Main Street. So we still own the green building, but we moved a whopping 25 feet. We took over Jimmy Averett's office and renovated it. We're going to have kind of a breaking ground of everything we've done renovation-wise. It's so neat to see all of our folks in our local area, contractors who've been able to do the work. We haven't gone out of town for any of that. And so we're going to have that sometime in June. Stay tuned for that. I was a former president of the chamber, and I would just say this organization, and seeing it grow over the years, is tremendous. Many of the entrepreneurs, like Big Papa's, I mean, think about what they've done to take an idea and bring it to fruition. That's been just phenomenal to see. And being part of the chamber for this time, it matters. You all matter in what we do. We've certainly benefited from those partnerships and relationships. So thank you all. We want to say thank you so much. Before I go, I've got one good story about Judge. I told him I would say this story. He said it's okay. Well, the first story, not the second story. But back in the day, a million years ago, there was a group of us, and I don't know how we got away from doing this, but we would go down on Monday nights to play volleyball. We weren't playing with the inmates. We were down at MAC playing, and so we went down there. And so every time what would happen is we'd get down, Jimmy Averett and Jerry Fowler would pick out the teams, and they'd argue back and forth. Wherever Judge ended up, I wanted to make sure I was on his team and not on the other side. Some of you have known Judge for a long time. He likes to win and does not like to lose. And so seeing that face brighten up back in the day, that was certainly, I think that's carried through for all of his efforts. You know, I've known Judge for a long time, and he's done a great job in our community. And so best of luck in the campaign trail. So thank you all.
Thank you, Dave. Appreciate your comments. And I have been lucky enough to see the inside of their new office, which is beautiful. So hopefully you all can make it out to see that as they have word in heaven later this year. At this time, I do want to introduce our guest speaker. I don't think he needs a lot of introduction, but that's okay. We're going to do it anyhow. County Judge Executive David Doherty has been serving in his role for 12 years. some amount of days and hours. I think it kept that down. And very excited to have him here today to share information about happenings in the county, any kind of projects and changes that are on the plate for us. We are growing, and that is very exciting for the chamber and for all of us in this room. So please join me in welcoming David Doherty.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Jamie. There was one more person that was on Monday nights, is Judge Spalding sitting up here in the front. We had some pretty intense games back, it ain't been too long ago, it's a pretty good while, but we had some really good times, and it was a lot of good memories, so it was appreciate David bringing that up. I just kind of want to change the things up that I usually do when I come to do this. I've done this for probably 10 or 11 years, and it seemed like I just kind of update on what's going on, but I'd kind of like to show some appreciation for all the employees that we have in this county. We've got a spectacular group of people that work in the county and give 110% to the county and the things that we do. So I'm going to kind of go through it. I've never done a presentation like this before, so kind of bear with me. Brooklyn put this together for me, and I give her the information, and she made it look a lot better than I ever could do, so I appreciate her helping me with that. But I'm just going to kind of highlight what we do as a county and some things that are going on in the community. This is kind of something that I don't know if people understand how the taxing districts work in the county, but it kind of breaks down where your taxes go for the property taxes in the county. You know, you got the state at 12%, the county at 9.65, the school at 65, the air board at 1.3, the health department at 3.4, the extension office at 3.52, the library at 4.89, and then the fire acres that we have in this county at 0.02. So, you know, I think a lot of folks are misinformed on the breakdown of what these are. If we were a county that there's several counties across the state, that's the only revenue that they're able to generate, which is the property tax. As you can see, 1.26 million would not get us a lot of things that we do in this community, this county. So we're very fortunate to have the industry base that we have in this county to be able to provide the services that we do and the things that we do. We could not do anything without our industry that we have in this county. So that just kind of shows you the rates and what percentage goes to each taxing district. And all these taxing districts are affected by the property taxes. Like last year when they passed the House Bill 5, the bourbon barrel tax, these are the same percentages. They get the same percentage of these taxing districts as you see on the screen. So all that affects the entire taxing districts. Moving forward, the county, I don't know if anybody knows this guy right here. This is Jimmy Rakes. He's our road foreman. And I tell you, I've never seen anybody that can get stuff done any better than this guy. You better not ask him to do it, because when you turn around, it's going to be done. He is exceptionally good at what he does and very spot on. He gets up every morning at 5:30 and goes and picks up 16 inmates to run our garbage routes. So, you know, he goes in at 5:30. I don't know what time he gets home. Gets called out all hours of the night. I mean, it's, you know, when we have a storm, the tree gets blown over a road, he's there every day. So you can't appreciate what all he does enough. You know, it's unbelievable what he does do. This is some of the equipment that we've been able to have and buy for what they do. You'll see here, I think this is on Gerald O'Daniel Road. We're getting ready to blacktop that road, and something that we're trying to do on every county road is clear all the debris on the sides of the roads and kind of widen the shoulder. So, you know, a lot of these roads over the years have gotten wider, but they still need to be wider. It's kind of hard to pass on some of them. So we're making an effort on every road we're doing going forward to widen and shoulder these roads. So, but Jimmy does a fantastic job. This is some work that they're doing out there. Another department another thing on the road is we take care of roughly 300 miles of county road. So whenever it snows, that's the county road department. We get confused a lot with the state. Our roads do not have yellow lines. We get kind of, we had a terrible ice storm this year that was something that was different than we've ever dealt with before. So, you know, there were some extended periods of time that we were out trying to get them cleared off. And again, the ice was different than anything we've dealt with before. So we took a lot of heat from other roads, but like I say, it is a very difficult job, very dangerous job. We've got roughly 9 people that are employed by the road department. Maintains 300 miles of roads, includes removal of downed trees, snow removal, patching, shoulder maintenance, and supervising asphalt services that and also do encroachment permits. Encroachment permits are something that I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with. If you're new to the community or new to the county and you're buying a piece of property out in, say, the road we just talking about, Gerald Daniel Road, and you need a driveway put in, then we have a permitting process that you got to come through, and we'll view it and make sure there's enough sight distance for you to be able to do that. So that's just another thing that they do. Another department that Jimmy runs is the sanitation department. The sanitation department, the Marion County is staffed by 15 employees. Sanitation crews collect approximately 12,000 tons of household garbage annually, generated from approximately 8,000 residences and 200 dumpsters. All waste is transported to the Nelson County landfill. I don't think a lot of people understand that we do not have a landfill in Marion County. Everything that we pick up and everything that is brought to our transfer station is transported to Nelson County. We make about 4 trips a day to Nelson County. It costs the county about $600 to $650 a load to take this stuff, take the garbage to Nelson County. So it's a big expense to do that. So that's another service that we are providing. Solid waste and environmental is something else that we do. You got Mr. Keith Brock there. He's on the screen here. He's my walking encyclopedia is what I can kind of relate to Keith. It seems like he knows, been around a long time and knows a lot of stuff. He was an environmentalist for the health department, so I rely on him a lot to help me with a lot of issues that we have concerns about. So he's been a big help to the county, a tremendous help to the county. And this is Sharon Browning. She's the E911 coordinator and basically gives addresses to all the people in the county. E911 has been something that we've gotten certified, which is something that has been a big task because it's a very moving target. You know, there's people moving in and roads changing and things every single day, and that's something that we have to keep on top of. If not, it'll be hard to find them. This E911 is, I don't think people understand how important it is. The main thing we do it is so we can find you if you've fallen or if you had an accident. Before, the private roads a lot of them were not even addressed. So we've got over 100 private roads in Marion County. The private roads are the roads that have the blue sign. They're blue. If it's a blue sign, it's not a county maintained road, but it's a private road and it has a name. So those roads are all identified now. So if anybody's had an accident on those roads, they will be able to find you. That's the main purpose in E911. If you have an accident, when you call, you can be found easily. So that's a big job. Like I say, I think there's over 10,000 addresses in Marion County total right now. It counts cabins, barns, and things of that nature. So we are definitely a growing town, growing community, growing county, which is a good thing. The next one is the Career Center. I think we've got a couple Career Center folks here. We got Terry and Elizabeth, and I tell you, they are the best. I'm just going to be honest with you. They are some of the best employees that you can't, I'm not saying, I'd say if they wasn't here, but it's just, they do a fantastic job. In 2017, we got word from the state that our local Career Center was going to be closed. And with 42 industries and counting, we knew, the mayor and myself knew that it was something that we were going to have to keep open, because it is such a vital part of the success of our industry. And thank goodness we did. I think I want to thank the city for helping them with all of that. It's a great partnership that we have with them, and we definitely couldn't do it without them. But Terry is just, and Elizabeth just do a fantastic job. I mean, when you go into an industry with them, you don't have to introduce them. They know every single one of them. They know the issues that all these industries are having, and they're the heartbeat of them. So I just appreciate what they do and what they do for our community. So, all right. The next one is the event center. That's Terry. Okay, I think everybody knows this guy. The event center is managed by Will Knight, and it's proved to be a great addition to our community. Will's like Terry and Elizabeth. He's one of those employees that I can't think of a better fit for what he's doing at the event center. I knew it was going to be a tough job to get it up and going, and honestly, it's doing great things. I went out there a few times this past youth basketball league, and it's great to see the whole community together. You know, they used to have the youth league you had one at Glasscock, you had one at St. Charles, you had one at wherever, Lebanon Middle, and you know, it felt like you were scattered everywhere. People were having to run different places, but this year we were able to host them all right there at that one facility. And you know, I think there was upwards of 600 or 700 people a day out there enjoying, and it seems like it's brought a lot of unity in our community. I think it's bringing people together. And that's what I've noticed about the event center is you go out there at different times of the day, and you got different groups of people. When you go in the morning, you got your 25 pickleball players that are very serious about pickleball, and they're there every day. You got your early walkers, you know, and then you go back later in the afternoon, you got your high school kids, your grade school kids out there playing ball, walking the track, doing a little bit of everything. So it's really give people opportunities that Judge Spalding and I never had whenever we were growing up. I mean, I loved basketball, I loved sports, and we had to fight to find a place to even get to play. So, you know, with this place being open roughly 12 hours a day, it gives them an opportunity to be able to go without having to worry about being able to do it. So, you know, it's really helped. I know there's been a lot of talk about Marion County over the sportsplex, so a lot of them are trying to get one themselves. So, you know, it's definitely being noticed what we're doing out there. It's really a good thing. Another role that we've added is Brandon Wilson is our community sports specialist. Brandon's here, I think, as well. And again, he's another one of these employees that you can't say enough good things about him. It's just great to see what he's done and the people that he's helping, because it's really he's got something started. It's called the Situation Table. I don't know if anybody's heard of it. If you haven't, I invite you to come to the hospital on Wednesdays at 12:30. We've been getting several different community members. Some church groups have been coming to these meetings, and basically what it is it's a group of folks that put people to the places to get help, that resources that are needed. You've basically got 4 or 5 groups, community action. The hospital's been a huge help. That's where they host the meetings at. And you know, we're all dealing with the same folks in this community, whether it be the judicial system, whether it be community action, you know, and this place kind of helps them find things that they're not aware of that are even out there, you know, like assisted with their rent, assistance with substance abuse, or any other problems that they're having. This group has just in the small period of time that they've been there, that we've been doing this, I can see a difference even in our local people that were walking up and down the street. It seems to be really helping, and I'm really proud of what we're doing with Brandon's position. Again, the city has to split the cost of this. These are opioid funds. These are not taxpayer money. This is from the lawsuit from the opioid settlement fund. So it's not costing any of us any funds at all to do this. So I think we're being very productive with what we're doing, and hopefully we can continue to help the people that just need a helping hand. So again, I do invite any of you to come to this. It's a good feel thing. I'll be honest with you. When I leave there on Wednesdays, if I haven't done anything else all week that I feel has been productive, I feel good when I come out of there. You feel like it's an opportunity to help people. I see Diane comes sometime to the meetings, and it's definitely a great thing. So I appreciate what Brandon's been doing. All right. The next one is, I don't think he needs an introduction. This is Jailer Barry Brady. I'd like to take this opportunity. Barry's retiring. He's got his time in. I think he's got about, 35 or 40 years in corrections. So we've been fortunate enough to have Barry as our jailer ever since I've been in, and he's one of the most caring people that I've seen. And you can tell when you go inside the detention center. It's probably one of the cleanest, well-kept facilities in the state of Kentucky. So, and it's upwards of 25 years old. So, if you walk in it, you would never think in a million years that it's that old building. He's done a fantastic job. He's got a fantastic staff. We have a 300-bed facility here at Marion County Detention Center that is actually second to none. They do. There's I don't know how many programs are in the state of Kentucky, but Marion County is the only one that has every single one of them. And it's just a huge benefit. At that, there's been a huge increase in the cost of running not only Marion County Jail, but every jail across the state of Kentucky is one of the main things that's hurting county budgets. It's the biggest draw that any of us have. But in saying that, there is a lot of things that we get out of our detention center that people do not realize. Like on the back of our garbage trucks, they're all inmates, every single one of them. With our workforce today, I don't know if we could fill the positions if we didn't have the inmates. Just to be perfectly honest with you, that's a very tough job to do, and it's if you had to hire to replace all the folks that we use at the jail, it would be over $1 million. You're talking at least 16 to 20 jobs every day that we use them. We also use them at the animal shelter. So, there's a huge group of folks that we don't think we could fill the job. So, even though we do transfer a lot of money to the detention center, we do get a lot in return, at the end of the day. If you look at it, like Washington County, they don't have a jail. They have a closed jail, and their transfer ends roughly $750,000 to $800,000. So, if you relate it like that, it's really not as bad as you would think it is. So, again, I know I'm gonna miss Barry. He's been I tell you, this House Bill 557 was something that we were really counting on to get some help with this, and we didn't get anything. So I mean, it's one of these deals that you just you don't understand why, but you got to keep going. You can't stop. So that's another thing people don't realize. Our jail was designed to be ran by Class D inmates. There are not enough Class D inmates in Lebanon, Marion County to run our jail. So we rely on these program beds to be able to to run, to keep it up and going. So I mean, we're kind of at the mercy of the state when it comes to those situations, but we're doing the best of what we can is what we're doing. So again, I want to thank Barry for everything that he's done, and wish him all the best in his retirement as well. Next one is the Sheriff's Department. You know, back in the day, the Sheriff's Department was very small. I remember whenever I was growing up, we had, I think, Aaron Spalding and wasn't but 2 or 3 sheriffs. And, you know, now we got 8 deputies and 10, 11 in court security, and it's, you know, it's grown tremendously. So in doing so, what has grown is the cost of running the Sheriff's Department. It's not a self-sufficient department anymore. You know, back in the day, it was, you know, a couple people was pretty easy to manage and do with. But now, with the growth of it, we have to protect the people. And I think we've got a great group of folks that work at the Sheriff's Department as well. I know we do. And we roughly spend about $900,000 a year to assist with the Sheriff's Department. So that's just a sign of the times that we're in. You know, and these jobs are not like they used to be. These jobs are very, very tough. You know, you're dealing with situations, mental health, and things that you've never dealt with before. I will say Ray and the City of Lebanon, they attend every single one of the situation table meetings, EMS, and these folks really care about our community. I will say they're a great group. There's some more pictures of them. The animal shelter, that's something that we're in the process of building a brand new animal shelter. We broke ground about a month and a half ago, and we're probably 6 months out from completion. But the reality of their old animal shelter, this is kind of drastic, but the mice were chewing the wires completely in two all over the building. So we had to do something. It's been a building that was built in 1968. It's been pieced together. It's served its purpose. You know, the time was to do something with it. So we are required by KRS to maintain our animals and take care of them. If we don't have a shelter, we have to take them somewhere else. And the reality of that is there's nowhere else to take them. So we're kind of at the mercy of the law that we have to do this. And Candy does a spectacular job. It's a tough job, I'm telling you. She's another one that gets called out on all hours of the night, dog bites, and you know, everybody in the county's got dogs now. So if you need one, we got plenty. But she does a fantastic job, and I'm looking so forward to having her a new facility that she can turn the lights on without an issue. And Stanley stays at the animal shelter a lot and does a fantastic job there as well. But the budget for the animal shelter is around $300,000 a year. So there's pictures of the new one going out there. It's right across from the existing one. Economic development. We got Brooklyn Leap is here with us today. She had a big day this morning. We were very fortunate enough to get a $2 million PDI grant from the state of Kentucky, which is huge. I think she earned her keep today, you know. If we could do that every year. But if you look out on the bypass, that's a perfect example of what these funds are being used for. The road out there by the Good Buddies and the butcher shop is due to be curb and gutter put in, I think, May the 8th, and then the blacktop to follow. So if you go out there and look, you can see there's a great vision of where we're going to be within the next 6 months. And I tell you, you can just picture your coffee shops, you're back in both sides of the road. You're going to have an opportunity for people to invest and do some business in that area. And I can't think of the area is beautiful. Honestly, you can look out and see across the field. It's just a beautiful sight. So a lot going on out there. And again, at no cost to the county and the city. It's something that the PDI grant, that's what it's applied to, and it's great that we're going to be able to have these opportunities real quick. And economic development is something else that I don't think people realize the importance that it is to our community. You know, our budget has grown and since 2015 from roughly 15 million to 27 million right now is where we're at right now, without any increase in taxes by fiscal court. So it's something that's done by what economic development does for our community, such as retaining industry, recruiting industry. The tax base at these industries is why we're able to do what we do, and it makes things a whole lot better and a whole lot easier when you have the funds to do things that you want to do. But again, I don't think people realize if we didn't have the industry that we have, I mean, you seen the first slide, how could we provide the services we provide? We couldn't do it. We'd have to have taxes that would be through the roof. So, you know, again, kudos to all the folks that work in this county, because we couldn't do it without them. It's incredible, really. But yeah, if you all ain't got something to do, just ride out by there. You'll be very impressed by the new road that's going to be in there. The fairgrounds, is Betty Bradshaw here? I don't see Betty. Betty's a volunteer at the fair board. I think she was at the last fiscal court meeting. They're actually in the process of building a new concession stand area. I think the old one's been there for as long as I can remember, a long time. And it was getting in bad shape. So they did actually receive a grant from the state for, I think, $75,000. And if you've been, I don't know if you've been to the fairgrounds lately, but we have a camping area out there that's generating roughly $80,000 to $90,000 a year, which is really a big deal. We budget $15,000 a year for the fairgrounds, and we have not given them that money for the past 10 years. They actually did ask for it this year to help finish the concession stand area. So, you know, it looks a lot better than it did a few years ago. The tracks looks good, the barns are all in really good shape. We have a lot of people from out of town that are using those facilities, and it is really an asset to our community. EMS is run by Jim Thomas. He started a couple years ago and is doing a fantastic job, and I feel like we have one of the best EMS crews in this state. We try to keep them with the best equipment. We keep a new truck. We've got 4 or 5 really, really good trucks. We've got the real nice, what do you call them? Well, I can't think what they are. I'll see one here in a minute. But yeah, stretchers, and the kind that they wheel themselves and climb the steps. And, you know, we've tried to equip them with all we can. And EMS is something else that's very difficult for counties across the state, because we don't get paid back for a lot of our runs. You know, the Medicare allowable rates minimum to what it costs us. So we transfer in roughly about $1.2 million a year to EMS, but at the end of the day, I think it's a service that we most definitely couldn't do without. That's an extra truck that we have during the day, because we do a lot of transfers from Springview Hospital to Louisville, Lexington. So it was actually time EMS employees. It's a very, you know, tasking job that is just, we appreciate every single one of them. They do a fantastic job. Now we're kind of hindered by having one dispatch location that's, you know, we actually went down a couple weeks ago, and we're down for 6 or 7 hours that we don't have a backup. So with this new system that we're implementing or going to get put in, we'll actually have 3. There'll be one in Loretta, one in where it's at now, and one at it'll make us so much better. And the new towers that we're putting up, we should, you know, Marion County is up and down, hills and hollows, so a lot of communication problems are with the way the land is. But with these new towers, allowed us to put that tower on his property, and it's one of the best sites anywhere. So I want to thank him for giving us that opportunity, and it will really help communications with the tower. This is our maintenance guy. Stanley Smothers is is the only maintenance guy we got, and saying that, I mean, we have a lot of buildings in Marion County, and I'm gonna tell you, this guy is just a wealth of knowledge. He was the first hire that I did when I came into the county, and as I tell you, he is fantastic. It's unbelievable what he's able to do. He comes from HVAC background, so he can do a little bit of plumbing, a little bit of electric, a little bit of everything. And I tell you, he is a remarkable man, and kind of like Jimmy, he gets called out. We get a lot of alarms in our building here lately. We've been getting a lot of alarms going off, so he's there seems like every hour of the day. Can't say enough good things about him. This is Glenn Ford. I don't know if everybody knows Glenn. Glenn is another fantastic guy that keeps I get a lot of compliments on the cleanliness of our building, and he does a fantastic job. Glenn's just a good guy, and just whatever you ask him to do, he's all over it, and very passionate about what he does, and very systematic about what he does. He does a wonderful job, and we appreciate everything he does. I notice you all see our new, I think George may have took his picture and sent it to Brooklyn. We've got our columns put back on the building after, I don't know, 7, 8, 9, I don't know how long it was, but we finally got that done. And I can't, we've had our issues, but I think we're finally getting to a point where the building is getting to be, it's getting better. After we spent a lot of money, and to the left is our treasurer, and he's been there a little longer than me, but he is probably the best treasurer in the state of Kentucky. He's very, very conservative. If he does billing, it's incredible what we've been able to do with the short staff that we have at this. They work all hours. It's an incredible group of people. We got for a lot of the grants that we've been getting here lately, and we've gotten a lot. We've gotten a lot of grants, and she's got a good relationship with the state grant folks and with our road folks, and is doing a fantastic job. And Amy Bland, she's the one far right that takes care of all the sanitation, and she's another one that, this sanitation has grown. It's grown, and it grows every year. We get more dumpsters. We've turned it around from. When I first came in, we had about a $750,000 deficit in sanitation bills, and we've turned that around now. We're very minimal delinquency. We were losing about $600,000 a year, and we're now making about $600,000 a year. So we've turned that around. That's why we can do things like build the event center and things of that nature, but they do a fantastic job. Some of the other fire departments across the county, Gravel Switch, Bradfordsville, Loretto, Lebanon, what's the other Lebanon department? Lebanon Rescue. They're all, we give those about $25,000 a year, every year or two, and they do a fantastic job. The fire departments that we have we're very fortunate. A lot of counties, just have a couple fire departments. We've got one about every end of the county, and I tell you, they are a great group of folks. Like you say, they're volunteers, and they are very passionate about what they do. We had a magistrate had a fire out here on Miller Pike a couple months ago, and I think there were 2 groups responded there. Then we had another fire on the other end of the county, and 2 responded there. And then Taylor County had a big fire. So every one of them were assisting different ones, and do a fantastic job. These are our magistrates: Joe Pat Kirkland, District 1, Larry Mattingly, District 2, Craig Bishop, District 3, Jackie Fogel, District 4, Caleb Buckman, District 5. And I will say, I call myself basically the salesman to these guys. So I don't typically vote on any issues that we're having in the fiscal court meetings. I present the issues, and they are the ones that do the voting. I will break a tie if I have to, but I will say I've been blessed to have great magistrates, and we all get along. I was at somewhere a couple of weeks ago, and there was a guy that made a comment that said that he didn't think our fiscal court was very strong. He said, "Y'all get along too good." And I don't know what world you're living in, but I think getting along is getting it done myself. But I think that might be what's wrong with our entire country right now. But we're not like that here in Marion County. We all get along. We understand everybody's opinions and respect them respectfully. And it's a pleasure to serve with these guys. I think that's about all I got. I might went too long, might not went long enough. I don't even know how long I've been. But does anybody have any questions? If not, Aubrey, I appreciate it. And thank the chamber, by the way. I don't think I thanked you all for letting me do this every year. I appreciate you so much. Thank you all.